Parkinson's Awareness Month. The progressive disorder affects the central nervous system, resulting in tremors and a loss of control over muscle movements.
According to the Parkinson's Foundation, the disease impacts more than 1 million Americans with about 90,000 new diagnoses annually. Rex Polkinghorne is a patient and an advocate, and he's joining us now to talk about his own experience with Parkinson's disease. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I was reading that the average patient of Parkinson's is usually diagnosed around the age of 60. You were only 42. What was that like, and where are you at now?
It was devastating at first because I thought I had my whole life ahead of me. But then I realized that I did have my whole life ahead of me. And exercise and medication and advocacy, and there's plenty of things. There's lots of runway left in your life.
Absolutely.
Well, I think someone like Michael J. Fox we saw years ago diagnosed, and it was devastating. Now to see where he's at, has the treatment come a long way, or are we still really far away from what needs to happen?
We're still dealing with a drug that was invented in 1967.
Oh, wow.
That is the gold standard drug still. And I think that as a society, we could do better.
Absolutely, and we should, Rex. You know, for people out there who may not be aware, can you describe some of the changes that you've gone through, and how are you personally managing this disease?
Well, with me, I started off with a real tightness in my hip, and then it was a tightness in my leg, and then my toes were moving by themselves, and then I was walking weird, and then my arms stopped swinging. And these are all really typical symptoms, but I was 42, so no one was looking for Parkinson's.
Were you just ignoring it, or saying like this must be attributed to something else?
I thought it was like I had a new car with a stiff clutch, and, or I was working out too hard, or these kinds of things. That made more sense. But I went to a smart doctor who said, "Is there Parkinson's in your family?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, you're going to the neurologist." And then I was diagnosed shortly after that.
So it does run in your family. Is there a genetic component to Parkinson's disease?
Great question. We're trying to figure that out.
Okay.
The Parkinson's Foundation has a study called PD-Gene that I'm advocating for. And it is trying to establish a link between Parkinson's expression and various gene variants. So I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to test my father before he passed, and me, to see if there's a link there. There wasn't.
There wasn't.
Oh.
But there's something going on, because if you look at my mom, her sister, her mother, her husband, her son.
Really?
All have it. And cousins and godmothers. And
so it's family, but maybe it could be environmental. There could be other components maybe that impact.
You look at it kind of like as a jigsaw puzzle. Various different things together are working against you. Like maybe there's a gene that will be activated if you come in contact with a certain chemical.
Gotcha.
Now, Rex, of course, unfortunately, there is no cure for Parkinson's disease. So tell us about the work that you're doing to help find a treatment and a cure, and how other people can get involved.
Well, I go to a lot of places and I talk to a lot of patients, especially in underserved medical communities, where they don't have movement disorder specialists, and they don't have the best or the most cutting edge medical treatments or pharmaceuticals or technology. And I try to give them some hope that, you know, there's life after diagnosis. For me, the best things in my life happened after I got diagnosed. I bought a house, I got married, I got a dog, I won a Super Bowl ring. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that that's just a death sentence. But it's not.
Well, that's, you know, I watched the popular Apple TV show Shrinking, and it's become a storyline where Harrison Ford's character has Parkinson's disease. They brought Michael J. Fox on. When you have that level of star power that's now talking about this in a television show, does that help in terms of advocacy, or does it sometimes spread some misinformation about the disease?
I think it would depend on how it's depicted, but I love that there's more than just Michael J. Fox to look at. Because God bless him, he shouldn't be the only person with Parkinson's in the world when there's 1 million of us in this country. So,
well, thank you for all the work you're doing.
Sure, thanks.
And good luck. I'm glad you now see that there's plenty of life ahead of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you got a village of support.
Yes,
Husband,
you do. Yes,
friend, right
everybody's
here
in here.
studio.
Yes.